For those of you who can remember coming into this sanctuary, and for those who've never been here because you're living thousands of miles away, I can tell you that by the back door of the synagogue there was a shelf under a window with books on it. Books that seem to mysteriously appear, probably placed there by one rabbi or another. Books of Jewish interest that passerbys are invited to take. Hopefully a more positive recycling than just the waste paper collection. Anyway, I picked up a book that intrigued me. A Brief Guide to Judaism, Theology, History and Practice. And it was by Rabbi Naftali Brower, published in 2008, written while he was the rabbi of Northwood United Synagogue. It's a most moving account of the time when he was 19 years old. He was a yeshiva student in America and went to a massive gathering of the Lubavitch rabbi, Menachem Mendel Schneerson. The Rebbe pulled a vast talus over his head and over bags of kritlach, of letters of help sent to him so that he may pray on the behalf of the sender. Rabbi Brower says, and I quote, "Not a sound could be heard in the vast synagogue except for the muffled sound of the sobbing of the Rebbe as he poured out his heart to God. Then suddenly, without warning, he threw back his prayer shawl, revealing a face burning with intensity. He put a small shofar to his trembling lips and produced the most haunting and moving sounds I have ever heard. They were soft, barely above a whisper, but so full of longing, it was as if I heard the soul itself calling out to God. This was without doubt one of the greatest religious experiences of my life, and one I return to in my mind each year when I hear the shofar." Can you recall a religious experience when you were so moved? Can you recall the shofar really inspiring you? Of late, I fear it's been blown more for the fun moment, not done for the potential spiritual meaning. And we sure have had to struggle these past 2 years. Can you recall an intense religious experience as you sat at home watching your computer screen, relying on a good sermon or especially moving singing? And we've been very fortunate here at the Ark to have so many occasions on offer. What hard work went into bringing us services online, and the work will continue as we bring services to people far and wide. But those of us fortunate to return to this sanctuary will know the added intensity of praying with the congregation. For Rabbi Brower, it was the setting, the crowds of worshippers, the inspirational Rebbe, the mysterious moment, the talus, the most mystical shofar blast, the still small voice, as it were, which brings me to tonight's thoughts. Personally, I've always found Selichot the most effective and moving service of these days of awe, and I pray that this very service is for you meaningful wherever you are. And I thought of Jacob, our founder. Jacob, where did he get closest to God? He was on the run, in the dry desert, on his own, only a rock for a pillow. He needed God in his life, and God came to him. And he awoke a new man, Israel, a new name. And he woke with the words, Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh, ki im beit Elohim, v'zeh sha'ah hashmayim. Surely God is in this place, and I did not know it. This is none other than the house of God and the gateway to heaven. A few of us tonight are back in this house of God, our sanctuary so dear to us. But many more of you are in different places round the country and world, sitting in your own home. Tonight, and over these coming days of awe, I hope that you do have moments, or even just one moment, when you do experience God or have a spiritual experience that makes the service worthwhile. Jacob awoke and said, "Surely God is in this place, and I did not know it." Rabbi Pinchas Horowitz, a late 18th century student of the Maggid of Mezrich, commented on "I did not know." He said, "When can we experience God's nearness? Only when we are suffused by, I don't know. When we ourselves do not know and do not pretend to have wisdom or insight." And I would add, you never know when the moment will come. Just keep looking and dreaming and hoping. It may come in the comfort of your home, or here in an empty sanctuary, or who knows, maybe a poem, or in a discarded book you pick up off the shelf.